Shalom. It is Wednesday, September 29th, and I'm waiting for my sweet little niece to get here. Not sure what time she's coming today. She's pregnant. She's due in February, I think. She's due in February. So she's Kelsey's age. And so they kind of grew up together. So we're excited to see her today. What am I preserving today? I have some roses and some lavender that I'm going to dehydrate, and some tomatoes that are really ripe, and they're, I don't want them to go bad because they do have splits, and fruit flies really love this. So I really love those splits because it's easy access for them. So I'm going to go ahead and get these processed, and I'm just going to dehydrate all of this today because I would really like some more tomato powder, because I do like that. The one I ordered from, the tomato powder I ordered from Azure Standard, I don't know if they have a higher sugar content or what, but it just clumps together. And the tomato powder I make here, I dehydrate at like 120 something. And so it's very powdery. It's not it's not cake. Kelsey's signing to me behind the camera. It's not cakey, so it's very powdery. Hang on, I'll show you. So this is my tomato powder, and you can see there's some in there that's really loose. That's mine. And then there's some that's clumped. That's from Azure Standard. So like I said, I don't know. I mean, it's good. It tastes good, but you have to chisel that stuff out of here. So, yeah, I don't know what the difference is. Possibly, the only thing I can think of is maybe they have a higher sugar content than my tomatoes do. So that's a good possibility. But at any rate, you can see the chunks. It's like tomato rocks. So anyway, yeah. So what is loose in here is from my garden. Not the chunks. It's the stuff in between the chunks. And it's a slightly different color. Mine has more of a, because I have yellow and red tomatoes in there. And so it has more of a, it's a slightly different color. It's not so red. But yeah. You have to chisel that out. It's hilarious. Anyway. I'm going to dehydrate some more tomatoes for tomato powder. So that's what I'm going to do today. If I have time, I'm also planning to do some vanilla extract with the glycerin. I've never tried vanilla extract with glycerin. Actually, I've never tried an extract with glycerin, period. I actually thought about, since it's a syrup, rehydrating some herbs in there and making like kind of like a cough syrup type thing, just to make some of the herbs that I use a little easier to take. But at the same time, that is so high calorie. I mean, seriously. Hang on. Okay, you have to use water, because if you don't, you're not going to get it mixed up when you use vegetable glycerin, because it is so viscous. It is so viscous. It's very, very thick. It's like trying to mix something with corn syrup, I guess. But for 1 tablespoon, it's 253 calories. I mean, check out that label. Is that insane or what? I mean, 1 tablespoon. I mean, sure, you cut it with water, so you're not getting that much, but dang, that's a lot of calories concentrated. So as much as I'd like to get away from the alcohol, I'm having a hard time justifying the glycerin. Granted, when you use an extract, unless you're using it for a syrup, you're going to be using a small amount in a larger recipe. So, I mean, I might use it for things like that. So the vanilla would work for that. But at the same time, I'm not going to do I'm not going to do the tinctures from the herbal tinctures with this. I don't think. I may change my mind. I don't know. So, but right now I'm thinking I'm not going to. Just because it is so stinking high calorie. Now, you do mix it with water, so that does cut the calorie concentration down a little bit, but still not enough to make a huge difference to me. Back here on the counter, I have some Maline cough syrup. It has Maline and slippery elm and juniper berries in it. Really, really, really good. If you're not aware, Maline is excellent. It is Maline is better at breaking up mucus in your chest and your nasal cavity than Mucinex is. I'm serious. It works so much better than Mucinex. And if we get congested really bad, we just make a tea out of it usually. But I did have a cough syrup. I did have a cough syrup that I made years and years ago. 20 some plus years ago. I don't know why I haven't done it since, because my wonderful husband, instead of bringing me flowers, he brings me Maline. I'll drop a picture in here of some of the ones that he's brought me. And bless his heart, he'll stop and he'll just grab the whole Maline plant and yank it up. And those things have some massive roots, so I really appreciate that he does that. But I would love to have some on my property. Problem is, most people view it as a weed. So if I planted it here and we sold the house, then somebody probably just mow it down, thinking it's a weed. But it is serious, has serious medicinal value. Here's some of what Todd got me, and it is so packed in this jar. You can see, look. It's jam packed in there because I have probably over a gallon still back there, plus this. There was a quart here, and I've already used half of this. I made a concentrated tea. It was intended it to be a syrup, but I did not add enough sugar. Anyway, it's a concentrated tea, so it's fine like that. And then, you know, that just means I won't have to brew it. All I have to do is heat water to use it. So, which is really nice if you're sick. Like I said, we got sick, it hit me hardest. That's because I'm still struggling with a few, minor health issues, but, it hit me the hardest. And, it was at the beginning of this year. Maybe it was COVID, maybe it wasn't. We didn't get tested. The biggest thing, if you get an upper respiratory thing, do not lay down. I know you want to lay down. Don't lay down. Sit in a recliner. Just make sure you're elevated, and try to move around a little bit, because when you sit and you're like laid back, that's when you develop pneumonia. So you really don't want to be laying down. As much as you want to, you don't want to be laying down. But that, yeah, we did not get pneumonia. Kelsey was over it in like a day. 2 days maybe. For me it was about a week. For Todd it was a couple days. Yeah, but I would have loved to have had some of that, and ever since that I've still had some upper respiratory thing. Not really upper respiratory, it's like a chest congestion just first thing in the morning, and then it clears out, you know, by noon it's gone, but first thing in the morning I'm congested a little bit. And so I think it's like made me more sensitive to allergies. I have seasonal allergies, and mowing the grass is killer. I'm congested for a couple of days after mowing the grass. And you know, perhaps it's hereditary. My mom has asthma. My sister that died tragically a couple of years ago, she had asthma when she was born. From the time she was born through, she had asthma. And but my mom, she gets really congested. She used to not be able to use an air conditioner. Now she uses one because she can't stand the heat, but only when it's really, really hot. But anyway, I don't know if it's hereditary or what, but I do have, as I'm getting older, I do notice that I'm getting more allergy symptoms. So anyway, me chit-chatting is not getting any of this work done, is it? So the first thing I'm going to do is just the flowers. So these are the Perfume Factory roses. I can't even tell you how good these smell. And these remind me of, Mom used to have some teacup roses. And oh my gosh, they smell so wonderful. And they smell so wonderful. The ants love them too. So I'm going to have to douse these in some vinegar. Some vinegar water. The vinegar's not going to hurt them. Oh, they're covered in ants though. But I don't blame them, man. These are sweet. It's those little tiny sugar ants. Okay. Can you see it? How tiny that thing is? I used to have, it was a scarlet climbing rose. And that thing would put off rose hips like you wouldn't believe. Every flower would develop rose hips, which was awesome because rose hips are really high in vitamin C and a lot of other vitamins that are beneficial, and it makes a really good tea. That was one of the second forays into herbalism. Okay, now let me go rinse these really quick. These are nice and rinsed now. It doesn't matter if they get wet because you're going to dehydrate them anyway. But you definitely don't want ants dehydrated onto your flower petals, especially if you're going to use it in tea, which is what I plan to use it for. And all I'm doing is just spreading these out. But yeah, my mom used to make a lot of herbal things, not even realizing that was what she was doing, I think. But she, like, her and my grandma, my mom's mom, were the ones that, like, developed in me a love for gardening and for growing things and all the wonderful uses of the herbs of the field that, you know, we're told in the Bible are here for us to eat for our health. And then, you know, when we go to New Jerusalem, we're going to have the tree of life, which is the leaves are for the healing of the nations. I mean, you know, that's one of the things that I really don't think there's an illness or a disease out there that God has not provided an herbal thing that will cure it. Except when you talk about, you know, sins. Sins will cause diseases that are not curable. Except with repentance. Between these roses and the lavender, this house is going to smell so good as these are dehydrating. So if you're looking at getting a rose, a climbing rose, oh, I would so highly recommend the Perfume Factory. I don't even remember where I got it, but just Google it. You'll find it. Perfume Factory rose. Mom used to have some tea roses, some wild tea roses. And this is what it reminds me of. Yeah, you need to let go of yesterday. Yesterday is gone. So I always talk about Kelsey as my little girl. She's always going to be my little girl. But she's not a little girl anymore. She actually is a woman. Okay, I'm almost there with the roses. And it's going to take up one. One tray. I have the Samson, you know, like Samson and Delilah. I have the Samson dehydrator, and I love it. It is comparable to the Excalibur, and I've never having owned an Excalibur. I think it's far superior. But yeah, never having owned an Excalibur. But it's also a lot cheaper. So, here's my rose petals. Sans the ants. And when you're dehydrating, you know, a lot of people say, oh, well, dehydration kills so many of the enzymes and whatnot. It can, for real. If you, oh my gosh, lavender smells so good too. It can. If you, what was I saying? Oh, dehydrating can absolutely kill the enzymes in your food. But here's the thing. Not very many if you dehydrate and keep it raw, which is under 118. Now you use a thermometer because everywhere in your dehydrator isn't always going to be the same temperature. You want your food to stay under 120. So sometimes we can actually dehydrate at 131 and it's completely raw. So the lower the temperature, the longer it's going to take. This is true. But also the lower the temperature, the healthier it is for you. So, and there's the little bit of lavender I have. Into the tomatoes. Oh yeah. Okay, I don't know if it looks any better, but it definitely feels better. Todd actually loves my long hair. I prefer it short. But I asked him, I was like, well, why do you like my long hair? Because I always wear it up because it's just too hot. He says, I know it's there. I'm like, well, I can't argue with that. So I'm cutting these in about 1/4 inch slices, as you can see right here. I'm just going to lay them flat out onto. Now, if you have the little tiny tomatoes, they are so wonderful. If you cut them in half, slice them in half, and sprinkle a little seasoning over top of them, like Cajun seasoning or something like that. I don't know what that weird flashing light was. But that makes a really good snack. That's one of my favorite ways to eat those. You know, when they're not in salads. So we got up this morning at 7 o'clock. And we've been going ever since. I don't know why, but as soon as the light starts hitting the window, I can't go back to sleep. It doesn't matter how tired I am. I'm just taking these dark spots off because I don't want them to discolor the powder. We got a huge tomato harvest yesterday. Like, huge. That's why I was like, well, these are already ripe. Fully ripe. Let's go ahead and grab these. I don't know how people can allow their tomatoes to like fully ripen on the vine, because if I do that, some critter is going to go after them. Usually the birds. And we have some crows out there and ravens that have decided that our garden is their home. And they just kind of hang out there and just wait for something to be available to eat. And it's the ravens, I believe, that has been turning over the water bath. What? Can you sign that again? Maybe later. So I don't put any salt or anything on these. I just put them on here and dehydrate them like that. So I don't really have a lot to chit chat about today, so I'm gonna come back when I'm done with these and moved on to the next item. I keep forgetting about this little thing. This works so easy for coring strawberries, but it also works good for coring tomatoes. And it's much faster. I keep forgetting about it. It's a new tool, so that's why I keep forgetting about it. New to me. I found it, I think I got like a dozen on either Walmart or Amazon or eBay or something like that, but I got a dozen of them. Not sure what I'm going to do with a dozen, but the dozen was the same amount as one, so. Okay, so that got me 4 trays of tomatoes, but if you can see right here, I have, whoop, there it is. I still have like 5 more trays. I still have room for 5 more trays. So I don't like to run the dehydrator only half full because, well, it's using a lot of electricity. Not a lot, I mean, but still, it pulls a lot of electricity when you're talking about it running for 24 hours, possibly longer than that. So I'd like to have it full. So I have some flour here that needs to be used. So I'm going to grab some flaxseed and I'm going to grind it into flour, and I'll be right back. Okay, I also have added some cassava flour. I also added some cassava flour, about half a cup, because I have some and I need to use it up. So here's my flaxseed meal. That is, I don't know, I just put it in there. But that's about a cup and a half of it already ground. If you have a food mill, grain mill, or you're thinking about getting one, you cannot grind nuts or flaxseed or chia seed. Anything that's a fatty seed, you cannot grind it in there. Okay, so I'm going to pour in some, we use garlic powder and onion powder and everything. I'm happy. Yeah, I used about 2 tablespoons of garlic powder. About 2 tablespoons of onion powder. About a tablespoon of salt. And now is where you get the flavor. So I need some more Italian seasoning. Hang on just a second. Okay, so I'm going to add in some Italian herb seasoning. Italian. So that was probably about 2 tablespoons right there. And then I'm going to refill my jar. Okay, so this is the one you buy in the store. And this is mine. It has the label in there. But what I really like about it is these little black caps that you can use as a sprinkle, or you can just pull them off and dump. Usually I just pull them off and dump. But you can pull these labels off if you wanted to and just put your own sticker on there. That's what I did. Or you can buy them pre-made. And I still have 2 more that I need to do. Okay, so I'm just going to mix this up. And what we're making is raw crackers. You can put vegetables in here, onions, tomatoes. You can put just about any kind of vegetable in here you want. That it will dehydrate with the with the flour. So now I just need to add some water. I see it, honey. Go put it in the dirty clothes. Thank you. And I just pour based on feel. My guess is it probably take all of these, of that whole 3 cups, possibly more. What you're looking for is kind of a slightly thick base because you don't want it to run off of your sheet. Okay, yeah, definitely going to need some more. So this is one of our favorite things, and we'll do this with salsa. What? Maybe later, honey. Would you stop obsessing, please? So we will often eat these with salsa. Definitely going to need another cup of water. And adding another cup of water in there. Girl, you need to learn to control your anger. And I've never used the cassava root before, so I'm not sure how it's going to react, but we're going to learn. We're going to find out. We often use this with salsa or with some vegan cheese. Okay, so we're going to pour it on here. Not all of it will go in one tray. You just have to judge. Probably, that's probably about 2.5 cups right here. And this is a cake serving tool. It has ridges right here. I'm not sure if you can see that. You see that? It's serrated. This works really good for not only spreading it out, whoa. Okay, this is a slightly different texture than what I'm used to. That's because I use flour. Usually I just use flaxseed oil, or Todd makes some really good ones that are old-fashioned oats that are ground oat flour. So if you wonder why Kelsey is always poking me in the videos, it's because she absolutely abhors sharing me or sharing my attention. If she were playing, she would actually stop playing and come if I was on the computer or something else. She absolutely hates to share my attention. Okay, so we've got to spread out. Now, do it right now. Todd does it later when he gets ready to flip it over, but I prefer to just score it now. And it makes it really easy when I go to flip it over also, because it's already scored. All I have to do is peel it off the back and just pop it back in there for it to dehydrate on the other side. Which, if I remember, I will get a video of that. So there is one tray. Oh, that's heavy. Get back on there. That one was put back in without being washed. That's all right. I'll wash it here in a minute. I may not even get all of these filled up. We'll see. Yeah, this is just going to do 3 trays. I have never tried it with gluten flour before, so we'll see how this turns out. It may work, it may not. Honey, I don't know when she's coming. You just have to wait patient like Mom. And you can cut them as big or as small as you like. This is my preference. Todd cuts them smaller. Todd puts a lot of hot sauce on his, or hot spices on his. I've never made any bad crackers, so. I have actually made some onion bread that's pretty decent. That was raw also. It's really getting sticky. You hear the trash guys out there. And this is not going to cover the whole tray. That's okay. They're homemade. They're not perfectly square. But here's the third tray of crackers. Okay, so I'm going to turn the dehydrator on and set the temperature to 122 and run it all the way up to 24 hours. It may need to go longer. It may not need that long. In about 2 hours, I'm going to come back and I'm going to take the crackers and I'm going to use this empty one, put it on top, and then peel the flip it over and peel the back off. So yeah, and then I'll pop it back in there for the rest of the time, and that just helps it to dehydrate fully on both sides. So I'm gonna get off of here right now and go ahead and get those dishes washed up from what I just made. Yeah, wash as you go, right? And then I will be back on maybe to make some vanilla extract. We'll see. Okay, so my crackers are ready to be flipped, so I'm good to video that. So hang on just a second. Okay, you obviously need your tray of crackers, and then you need an empty, whoops, how many one of those? You need an empty tray and an empty liner. So you just put it on there like that and flip. Super, super easy. These smell pretty good. I can smell the Italian herbs. Well, technically you don't really need that on there. Bam. Okay, so that goes over the be washed, and these go back in there to dehydrate some more. So I've got 3 trays. This is tray number 2. And you can tell it's ready to be flipped. Hang on just a second. You can tell it's ready to be flipped when everything falls off the counter. No, I'm just kidding. You can tell that it's ready to be flipped when you can see the lines that you drew and it has dehydrated and pulled away from those lines. Now let's try this one more time. Boing. I really love this dehydrator, y'all. And there's tray number 2. Usually I put some nutritional yeast on these so they're a little cheesy tasting, but I did not this time. That's okay, they're herbed crackers, so they're still going to be really delicious. My nieces have come and gone. We had a wonderful visit, and Kelsey is eating her lunch a little late, but that's okay. Bam. There we go. All right, there's one more thing I want to make today, and that is some vanilla extract. And then my making day is over, and I can go start working on these videos. Yeah, I have a couple things on eBay that sold, so I'm going to ship those out and then work on videos. Okay, so but first, we're going to make some vanilla extract. And we really use the vanilla extract in this house, like a lot. Todd uses it in his milk every week, and just various things. I like it in my coffee sometimes. We put it in shakes and ice cream, that kind of thing. So I have a huge thing of vanilla beans. I'm not going to need all of these for a half gallon, but I will save these in the freezer for our... Actually, no, I'll just repackage them in a airtight container. Okay, I've got all of my equipment together. I'm going to lower the camera down so you can see what I'm doing. So, all right. Okay, for the vegetable glycerin, I did look up the recipe to make vanilla. And so it is 3 parts glycerin to 1 part water. So I've got a half a gallon jug here. I'm not sure how much I'm going to need because I haven't done the math and I really don't care to. I'm just going to measure it out. It would help if I had water. Okay, let's go ahead and do 3 parts glycerin. And I got this cup because I'm hoping that it'll pour out of here a little easier than it did out of the measuring cup. That's some thick stuff, y'all. That's 1. 2. 3. 1 cup of water. And apparently you need the water to thin the glycerin down so that it will actually do the extraction. So that is halfway. So we're going to need to do this twice. So 3 more cups of glycerin. Two. And 3. It's so weird. It looks like hair in there. It looks like monofilament. Fisherman, you'll know what I'm talking about. Ooh. Alright. Alright, now the only other thing I need are my vanilla beans. And I thought I had everything together, but apparently... Oh my gosh, as soon as I opened this... vanilla. We have a love affair with vanilla in this house. So, I thought I had everything I need, but I don't. I need my cutting paper. And I'm probably going to have to turn the camera down just a smidge more. And I need a knife. But I need a sharp one. Alright. So, supposedly, it takes 3 per concoction. I think I'm going to go with a couple more. So I'm going to go 4 per, So a lot of people just stick their vanilla beans in there, but the little trick that I learned is if you cut the vanilla bean right down the center, it makes it easier for the vanilla to extract into whatever you're extracting it into. I don't know if I can get this one cut. It's so skinny. There's 2. Oh my gosh, these are so skinny. There we go. Look at that. Oh man, look at that goodness right there. I ordered these vanilla beans off of Amazon. That's been the lowest price place that I could find them so far. I still have some vanilla extract that I've done with vodka, which is my preferred extraction method. But it's still not ready to use yet. What do you think, guys? Do you think that's enough? Or do you think I need to add some more? I think I might add a couple more. These are so skinny. I know, I keep saying that. They're long and skinny. Alright, now I'm going to put the lid on this bad boy. Make sure all those little vanilla beans are in there. And then we'll put it on tight. And shake it. That looks really weird. Okay, I think the glycerin is really well mixed now. It doesn't have any monofilament lines looking things in there. There's some air bubbles where I just shook it up. So, yeah, we'll call that done. For now, we'll call that done. And then I will come back. Kelsey's water's ready. Then I'll come back in probably 6 months. I'm going to date this. Shake it every day or as many times as I can remember to do it. You don't have to shake it every day, but as you know, the more often you do it, the better. So I'm going to shake it as often as I can, trying to remember every day in a dark place, storing it in a dark place, and then I'm going to come back in 6 months and give you an update and see how it looks, and more importantly, how it tastes. So, okay. So that's all the preserving I'm doing for today. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate that you spent your time with me. Yahuah bless you and keep you and give you shalom. Until next time. Yah bless.